All right, so bit of housekeeping on this part. Where you have the bands anchored is going to dictate what you're experiencing, but also where you face will experience what you feel as well. So if you're in the rack, having it anchored vertically, say in your squats, and you're coming down, it's going to be hard on the descent and easier on the ascent movement, so coming back up. So again, if it was overhead though, and you're trying to do your deadlift, it's going to be easier to lift up and harder on the way down. Conversely, the other way around. If we have it anchored here, it's going to be hard on your lift, on your deadlift, and easy on the way down. Easy on the way down the squat, hard on the way up. So you change whether you're working concentric or eccentric motion. Now, having it, say, anchored low or high will change where the force vector is coming from. And now if we face the anchor, you're going to change whether you're more anterior or posterior in terms of the resistance that you feel. A lot of this will come out of how you are set up and what you experience the most. So for most people, like with the deadlift, that will help them to get the lat engagement and really work through that anterior core to try and do your deadlift when you're facing it. Whereas coming away from it will be much more posterior because you're trying to drive into the resistance as opposed to facing it and then trying to resist it. So playing around with where your force is actually being applied and the way that you're orientated will change significantly what you feel. So here, we've got that looped over. Now we're just sticking with a really light bar because it is the point of just experiencing what the tension is like. It's not about having weight on the bar at this stage. You can do that in your own programming as it dictates. So here it's all about staying safe and just working on our form and being as safe as possible. So here I've just got enough that I can feel that pulling backwards. And so even in just your RDL style deadlift, here I'm hinging back at the hips and I drive up tall, that is pulling me backwards. That's all my posterior chain that's focusing on. Whereas if I face the other way, that's now the anterior side of the body because that's what's resisting the pull. So here it's pulling into me. This is good, that keeps my shoulders packed back and it allows me to think of what I'm doing. Even if I'm setting up just down here at the bottom for a regular deadlift and drive. So this works on my force production coming up. Opposed to now, coming from here, you can see how my body's leaning differently. Right? I've got to pull through the lats and the backs of my shoulders to keep that in close. So I don't lose that bar position. So you can use it in different fashions. See, some people that have the bar too far away in their deadlift, you can use it to correct. Okay, and then others that don't have the force drive, you can use it that way as well, working through horizontal force as opposed to pure vertical. Where we're speaking about before is working on vertical force. So we have different pathways of force that we can utilize for different means.